showing we don't need roads.
Beautiful. Mr. Snyder, how are you, sir?
Jake, how you doing, brother?
Doing so well. I cannot tell you how much it means to me to be here. The movie is an absolute masterpiece, and it really means a lot that you're here, and then I get a little bit of your time. So seriously, thank you so much.
Of course, my pleasure.
So I want to start out talking about the opening weekend of Joss Whedon's cut of Justice League back in 2017. When that movie comes out, and it's basically kind of a bastardized version of your masterpiece, when it's clearly not the movie you intended it to be, how did you refrain from going to the top of the tallest mountain and screaming to the world, like, hey, this isn't my movie? Like, how did you maintain your class and your dignity and not just go talk to every reporter and trash that movie?
Well, I mean, there's a few things, we had there had been a tragedy in my family that was really all consuming. I felt like I frankly, I hadn't seen the movie. I still haven't seen the theatrical version of the movie. So maybe I've been able to, dampen my outrage by just not knowing what actually happens differently. But, and also, my dear friends are in the movie, my cast, I love them, and I really just want the best for them. And so it was really just about me saying, I was confident that the movie wasn't what I had intended, but I also felt like my sort of fight had been taken, and so I kind of let it be what it was. Frankly, it's been this time, these years have gone by, and so through it, I've been able to, kind of in my time, kind of go like, okay, great. Like, if there's a desire to see it, let's do it. And I think that's a gift. So I thank the fans, and I thank, HBO Max for letting me finish it.
I was wondering if we could compare and contrast two different sets of phone calls that you had to make. The phone calls when you had to call the cast and tell them that you were going to step away versus the phone calls that you got to make to tell them we're back and the Snyder Cut is going to happen. The range of emotions between those calls that you made to Ben and Gal and Henry and Ray and Ezra.
Yeah, I think that they all knew and were super supportive of what I was going through when I had to step away from the movie, and they were completely devastated themselves, and they were incredibly supportive, and just the joy and the kind of catharsis that they were able to experience with me, frankly, through this journey has been so appreciated by me. And, I think the fans also have felt that warmth.
For sure. I know I definitely did as a fan. Between Batman v Superman and Justice League, we've now gotten multiple hints at a moment that I really want to see realized on the screen, which is the death of Robin at the hands of Joker. Have you ever thought about how you would construct and direct that scene, what that scene would look like on film?
There was Jim Lee and I had talked about it. We haven't done it yet, but we did talk about doing a little comic book run of the death of Robin, and that kind of telling that story from my sort of my run, the reality of that world. And yeah, I've thought a lot about it, and I've thought a lot about the sort of how it would work and the mechanics of it and everything. So yeah, I know what happens, if that's the question.
So what you won't film it? You won't film it though?
Listen, as far as I know, no one's told me otherwise. This is all you're going to get from Zack Snyder's DCEU. And so, the reality is I didn't think we'd do this, but so the stranger things have happened. Let's put it
That's fair. Well, on that note, because I don't want to, I just want to give me the wrap. I just want to ask really quickly. You mentioned that this is the end, but it ends on a cliffhanger. There's so much more story to tell. When I think of Marvel and the MCU, that's a story that's just going to keep going, and it could go on forever. But with these characters that you gave to us, do you see a definitive end? Is there an end to their story in your mind? There is.
Yeah, there definitely is. Yeah. I mean, if you go to Dallas to the AT&T gallery where they graciously allowed me to put up some of my artwork and stuff, I put up the dry erase board that shows the 2-movie arc for what would have been the 2 more movies after this. Of course, a lot has changed, and they aren't exactly, if I were to shoot it, it wouldn't look exactly like that now, because there's just a lot of, stories evolved, but it has a lot of the elements. And in the same way that there's like Lord of the Rings, they kind of have a conclusion.
Oh my God, Mr. Snyder, I have to tell you, I've been such a fan of yours. I've been quoted for your work. I've been saving these for years, where like the New York Times ads for your films where they've quoted my reviews. I'm such a fan of yours, sir, and I have so much respect for you as a filmmaker. And I cannot tell you how much it means to me that we finally get to see this film, and it is everything that I hoped and dreamed and waited for. So seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, sir.
I can't wait to put the quote up, the new one.
I gave him some. So hopefully it works, Mr. Snyder. An absolute honor, sir.
I'm gonna put it straight on Barrow like as soon as I see it.
All right, Jake Hamilton from Chicago. It's there. An honor, sir. Seriously, thank you so much for your time.
Brother, you're the best.
Thank you. All right, bye, guys.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.